I think the Sony FX2 might be one of the most misunderstood and forgotten cameras to have come out over the past couple of years. Jake here from CVP, and in today's video I want to talk through some of the things we love about this camera and some sticking points that are worth knowing about if you're going to grab one of these for yourself. But before we get into the video, I just want to thank our sponsor, us. Did you know that you can buy most of the kit you see in this video and loads of other cine, video and photo equipment on our website? We sell and ship globally, so if you've been eyeing up a new bit of kit, please use the links in the description as it really helps us keep making these videos. Oh, and if you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. Anyway, let's get into it. Every time I use the FX2, I am surprised at how nice the image is and how easy it is to get a good looking image fast. The footage looks clean, colours look nice, and dynamic range looks solid. We've used the FX2 on location several times, and the image always looks lovely, and it's easy to work with in post as it uses the same S-Log3 S-Gamma3.Cine profile that Sony uses across a huge range of their cameras. This is something that Sony have done really well with their cinema line. When you learn on a lower end Sony, you can grow in their line of cameras and then apply what you learn to their higher end systems. It also has the ability to capture in S-Cinetone and two new film profiles, FL2 and FL3. You can also load in your own LUTs, which you can burn straight into your rushes, which is nice. The image is nicely detailed as well, as the camera is downsampling roughly 7K's worth of the sensor when shooting in 4K full frame. You then also have the ability to crop into a 4K Super 35 mode, and this again is downsampled, but from 4.8K's worth of the sensor, which means shooting in this mode can still deliver nice detailed imagery. You can assign this to a custom button as well, which allows you to quickly add a roughly 1.5 times crop in a pinch, while still capturing good looking 4K footage. This could be great for run and gun documentary shooters who want to get a bit more reach out of a lens quickly without sacrificing image quality too much. The FX2 has a dual base of 800 and 4000 when in S-Log3 S-Gamma3.Cine. Surprisingly, this is actually a little bit different to the A7 IV, which has a low base of 800 and a high of 3200, which this camera shares the sensor with. Comparing the low light performance against the FX3, we can see that the FX2 performs surprisingly well. Even at 12,800 compared to the FX3, we can see that there is more luminoise present, but I do think it's got more detail to it than the FX3 clip. They both perform well though, and Sony do a really good job of capturing great high ISO imagery, though they do use quite a bit of noise reduction internally, which you can bypass by recording RAW externally. This is one of the killer features that makes these cameras so good for run and gun shooters. One of the commonly discussed drawbacks of the FX2 is its higher frame rate modes. When in the camera's full frame mode, you can go up to 30 frames per second in 4K and 120 frames per second in Full HD. If you want to record 4K 60, you'll need to go into the camera's Super 35 mode. There was a bug in the camera which Sony fixed in firmware version 1.01 that showed that it was possible to record 48 frames per second in the DCI 4K 24p mode, but that isn't the case. And in this new firmware, when you go into this specific mode, you can see the image crop in. This is a shame, as this would have been a really nice middle ground between 30 and 60 frames in full frame. As the camera is downsampling in both sensor modes, both the images look good, but there is a slight drop in detail from the full frame mode to Super 35. For video users, Sony has one of, if not the best autofocus system out there, and the FX2 has one of the best in an FX series camera. It uses 627 phase detect points in video mode and 759 in its photo mode. We've used it a bunch, and the focusing system really is excellent. It recognises subjects in the frame well thanks to the AI chip, and is very good at tracking a range of different subjects. It also has an auto subject switching mode, which switches between the different targets the camera can detect. It really is incredibly useful to use for solo shooters, and with the upcoming Tilta and Viltrox autofocus adapters for PL lenses, you should be able to take advantage of the full Sony autofocus system with manual focus PL lenses. We will have an upcoming video about these systems coming out very soon, so make sure to subscribe to not miss it. One of the bigger drawbacks of the FX2 is its sensor readout speed. This is the speed that the camera can read from the top of the sensor to the bottom, and for video, a faster readout speed is often more desirable because of the artifacts you can get with slower speed sensors. The FX2 is definitely on the slower side now compared to other cameras in its price range. In the camera's 4K full frame mode, we got a result of roughly 27.38 milliseconds. When you drop into the Full HD full frame mode, you get a much lower 9.16 milliseconds, which must mean that some kind of pixel binning or line skipping is happening when in this mode, which is confirmed when we look at the image quality difference between the two modes. This is quite slow and does mean you need to be aware that you can get some artifacts when panning or filming fast-moving subjects. But as long as you're conscious of it, in most filming situations, you will get perfectly good results in most scenarios. If you need something faster and still want to stick to Sony's ecosystem, I would suggest looking at the FX2 or the A7 IV. Sony have pretty much standardized their recording formats across most of their FX series cameras. This means that the FX2 has a similar range to other FX cameras. This includes a mix of intra and long op compressed versions in a range of 4208-bit and 4210-bit options. You can also shoot with H.265 compression, but this is limited to 50 or 60p, unless you go into the FPS menu where you can shoot at 25p but at a 50p base, so your footage is double speed until you normalize it back to 25p in post. You can also shoot DCI 4K, though this is limited to a 24p base. These different options may seem a bit restricted now compared to other camera systems on the market like the Panasonic S1 II and Canon C50. But whether you need higher quality recording formats such as RAW will depend on the work you do and your personal preference. I think the FX2 offers plenty of options for people wanting a high quality intra-frame file or more compressed formats for smaller projects that don't demand the increased data rates. Also, with the cost of both media and storage now, I think a lot of people who the FX2 is aimed at will appreciate the lower data rates the FX2 and Sony's other FX cameras can capture while still delivering a good image from most online deliverables. What kind of recording format do you normally shoot with? Let us know in the comments. While the FX2 clearly shares a lot of its DNA with the FX3 and 30, one large differentiating feature is the camera's excellent viewfinder. It's a nice clear viewfinder that's similar in size to the ones you'll find on Sony's mirrorless cameras. However, unlike those, you can tilt the viewfinder up from flush to the body up by 90 degrees, which makes it very different to use than a traditional fixed viewfinder on a mirrorless camera. You can view it far easier, especially when shooting video. It's also more offset than a regular viewfinder, which means your face is further away from the back of the camera. You can also remove the eye cup and rotate it depending on what eye you want to use. It feels really robust and solid and can make for some interesting use. While we were out filming with it the other day, Sam found shooting pointing up particularly easy with this camera, though it did look rather comical. The FX2 shares the same menu system that you will find in cameras like the FX3 and FX30, but it also has a couple of features that were new for it. This includes the Big 6 menu, which can be great for certain camera configurations, and is something that you will also see on larger camera systems from Sony. The UI also now rotates when you are using the camera vertically. This also rotates the quick monitoring menus, but as soon as you go into the full deeper menu, this doesn't rotate, which is a bit of a shame if you've got it rigged up for portrait shooting. You have the ability to use either shutter angle or speed. It has a range of exposure tools, Sony's excellent white balance function, and a range of more unique features like the auto framing and framing stabilizer modes. You can also use the FX2 as a UVC or UAC camera via USB if you want to feed it into a computer and use it for streaming or as a webcam. The FX2 is clearly a more video-focused camera, but it's actually a pretty decent photography camera as well. Unlike other more video-focused hybrids, it has a physical mechanical shutter and can capture up to 10 frames per second continuously when using it. But I think operating it as a photo camera will take some photographers time to get used to, as it doesn't have a rear joystick, but one on the top of the camera instead. Though it does at least have dials for controlling your 3 exposure parameters, which some more focused video hybrids don't. But if you primarily shoot video and occasionally want to shoot some stills, it will be great for that. The images look great, they are detailed, have nice colour, and good dynamic range. The A7 IV has a respected image amongst the photography community, and as the FX2 shares so much with that camera, it's not surprising that it works so well. However, if you shoot more photography, but occasionally shoot video, I would suggest looking at the A7 IV, which may be a better option for you in Sony's range. This camera is a workhorse, and really, all the FX cameras are. And that's why they are still so popular both here in the UK and globally for a huge range of creators, videographers and productions. This is because of a range of things, such as the excellent battery life that it has using Sony's MPF Z100 batteries, the internal fan system which helps keep the camera rolling for longer takes, and rock-solid reliability that Sony have come to be known for. The camera is also built really well. It's very solid and has been designed to be used and abused across a range of environments. It also has a range of mounting points across the camera for mounting accessories, though I do wish that these had locating pins for a more robust connection. Regardless, they are very handy to have. It can also be used with the monitor and control app, which can be really useful if you need to remotely control your camera or have multiple cameras on set without a person controlling each one. The FX2 is available both body only and bundled with a fantastic XLR top handle. This is the same XLR top handle that you can get with the FX3 or FX30. For super lightweight rigs, the XLR top handle configuration will be great. It connects to the top of the camera via two 1/4" threads and the MI shoe, which you could actually use with any other MI shoe accessory as well. The quality of the audio you can capture with both this and the 3.5mm mic input is good. Currently, it does work out cheaper buying the camera with the XLR handle than buying the two separately. Though currently, we are running a special deal on the body only, which if you want to learn more about, head over to our website and chat to our team, telling them that we sent you. I think the FX2 has gotten a bit of a bad rap, mainly because of the sensor Sony decided to use in it, the time they released it, and the price that it came out at. However, I think it's actually a pretty fantastic camera. And technically, if your shooting style and subject matter isn't affected by the slow readout of the sensor, then it can produce excellent images, is lovely to use, and is a real workhorse. Price-wise, there is clear competition around it. But like I said earlier, we are currently offering a cracking deal on the body only, so if you're interested in the FX2, drop our team a message. If you want to learn more, check out our in-depth review where we go into more detail about the camera. Links to all of this are in the description below. Anyway, let us know what you like and dislike about the FX2 in the comments below. And to stay up to date with our upcoming content, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. And thank you so much for watching.